For 17 years, Elena Vasquez cleaned rooms at the Grand Wellington Hotel. She knew every hallway, every staircase, every service elevator. She knew room 206 had a window that never closed properly. She knew the shower in 518 needed 3 minutes before the water turned hot. She knew newlyweds usually requested the 8th floor because it overlooked the city. And she knew there were exactly 412 guest rooms in the hotel. So when Elena stepped from the service elevator one Tuesday morning and saw a door marked 414, she immediately knew something was wrong. There had never been a room 414. The strangest part wasn't the door. It was the housekeeping cart parked outside. It belonged to Elena. The Grand Wellington had opened in 1928. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, brass elevators, dark mahogany walls. It had survived the Depression, a war, 3 renovations, 2 fires, and countless rumors of ghosts. Elena didn't believe any of them. Old hotels made noises, pipes groaned, floorboards creaked. Guests imagined things after drinking too much. That was all. Until room 414. The 4th floor contained rooms 401 through 413 on one side. Across the hallway were 415 through 428. There was no 414. There never had been. Elena knew why. A large utility shaft occupied the space where 414 would have been. But now, there was a door. Dark wood, brass handle, small brass numbers. 414. Elena stood perfectly still. Her housekeeping cart was parked beside it. Sheets, towels, cleaning supplies, even her coffee sat in the cup holder. But Elena was pushing another cart. She looked down, then back at the identical cart. No. She approached cautiously. On top of the other cart was her housekeeping clipboard. She picked it up. Elena Vasquez. Her name, her employee number, her handwriting, and one room circled in red. 414. Stayover. Elena dropped the clipboard. Something moved behind the door. She backed away. Then came 3 soft knocks. From inside. Knock, knock, knock. Elena ran. Her supervisor, Denise, laughed. 414? I'm serious. Elena, there's no 414. I know. Then what did you see? A door. Denise sighed. Come on. They returned to the 4th floor. Elena stopped. The door was gone. Where room 414 had stood was a solid wall. Her second housekeeping cart was gone too. Denise stared at her. You need a vacation. It was here. Maybe you got turned around. I've worked here 17 years. Denise touched her shoulder. Go home early. Elena refused. Instead, during lunch, she went to the engineering office. The hotel's chief engineer, Malcolm Reed, pulled up the 4th floor plans. There, he pointed. Utility shaft. Exactly as Elena remembered. No room? Never. Could there have been one before renovations? Malcolm frowned. How far back? Any time? He opened archived blueprints. No room 414. Then they opened the original 1928 plans. Malcolm stopped. What? He zoomed in. Between 413 and 415 was a rectangular space, but it wasn't numbered. What is that? No idea. Elena leaned closer. Someone had scratched something across the original blueprint in faded pencil. Malcolm enhanced the scan. 3 words appeared. Do not reopen. That evening, Elena searched the hotel archives. Old photographs, guest ledgers, newspaper clippings. She found nothing about room 414. Then she found something stranger. A guest ledger from October 1931, rooms 411, then 414. Arthur Bell, October 6th. Elena stared. There it was, a room that supposedly never existed. Beside Arthur Bell's name was another handwritten notation. No departure recorded. Elena searched the name. She found a newspaper article dated October 11th, 1931. Traveling salesman disappears from Grand Wellington. Arthur Bell, 39, had vanished. His luggage remained. His automobile remained in the hotel garage. His wallet was found on the bedside table. But Arthur Bell was never seen again. Elena kept searching. A woman named Louise Carter, missing. Last known location, Grand Wellington. Newlywed couple Daniel and Susan Reeves, missing. Grand Wellington. Businessman Peter Lang, missing. Grand Wellington. College student Melissa Crane, missing. Grand Wellington. Different floors, different rooms, different circumstances, but Elena noticed something. Each disappeared on October 6th. She checked the calendar. Today's date was October 5th. Tomorrow was October 6th. Elena was about to close the archive when something fell from an old folder, a black and white photograph. Hotel staff, bellmen, maids, managers. Elena examined the faces, then stopped. A woman stood at the far left, housekeeping uniform, dark hair. Elena's face. Not similar, not vaguely familiar. Exactly Elena. Her hands began trembling. She turned the photograph over. Names were written on the back. The woman was identified as Maria Vasquez, housekeeping. Elena nearly dropped it. Her grandmother's name was Maria Vasquez. But Maria hadn't worked at the Grand Wellington. At least, that's what Elena had always been told. Maria had disappeared before Elena's mother was born. Family lore claimed she'd abandoned them. Elena stared at the photograph. Her grandmother hadn't abandoned anyone. She'd worked here. And the photograph was dated October 6th, 1931. The same day Arthur Bell checked into room 414. Elena should have gone home. Instead, she waited. At 11:47 p.m., she returned to the fourth floor. Nothing. 11:55. Nothing. 11:59. The lights flickered. Midnight. The hallway changed. The temperature dropped. The wallpaper darkened. The electric lights became dim yellow bulbs. And between rooms 413 and 415, a door slowly appeared. 414. Elena stared. This time she heard music inside, an old jazz recording. She reached for the handle, then stopped. A woman's voice whispered behind her. "Don't." Elena spun around. Nobody. "Who's there?" "Don't open it." The voice sounded frightened, familiar. "Maria?" Silence. Then the door to 414 opened by itself. Warm light spilled into the hallway. Inside was a hotel room from another era. A suitcase rested beside the bed. A man's hat sat on the dresser. The jazz music played softly. Elena stepped inside. The door slammed behind her. Elena grabbed the handle. Locked. "Hello?" The radio stopped. She heard breathing. Not hers. Behind the bathroom door. Elena backed away. "Arthur?" The bathroom door slowly opened. A man stood inside. Gray suit, bloodless face, sunken eyes. "You're not Maria." Elena couldn't move. "Arthur Bell?" He nodded. You shouldn't be here. Where is my grandmother? Arthur pointed toward the mirror. Elena looked. The reflection didn't show the room. It showed a hallway, hundreds of doors, and people. Men, women, children. Some dressed in modern clothes, others from decades past, all wandering, lost. Elena recognized faces from the missing person articles. Louise Carter, Daniel and Susan Reeves, Peter Lang, Melissa Crane. Then she saw Maria, young, terrified, pounding against the other side of the mirror. Abuela! Maria looked up. Her mouth moved. Elena couldn't hear her. Arthur grabbed Elena's arm. Don't touch the glass. Let go! If you open it, they don't come out. What? Arthur's eyes filled with terror. Something else does. A knock came from the hotel room door. 3 times. Knock, knock, knock. Arthur whispered, It's here. The door opened. A tall man entered. Black tuxedo, white gloves, perfectly combed hair. His smile was too wide. Ms. Vasquez. Elena stepped backward. Who are you? The man bowed. Augustus Wellington. Elena knew the name, founder of the hotel. He had died in 1932. You're dead. So are many of my guests. His smile widened. Arthur moved between them. Don't listen to him. Wellington ignored Arthur. Your grandmother stole something from me. What? A key. Elena instinctively touched the necklace beneath her uniform. A tiny brass key hung from it. Her mother had given it to her when she was 16. It had belonged to Maria. Wellington's eyes dropped toward Elena's chest. There it is. Elena backed away. What does it open? Wellington smiled. The hotel. Augustus Wellington had been obsessed with making his hotel unforgettable. Not metaphorically, literally. He believed buildings absorbed human emotion, joy, grief, fear, death. He hired an occultist to design a room that could supposedly exist outside ordinary space. Room 414. A place where wealthy guests could escape time. 1 hour inside could become days outside. Years could pass without aging. But something went wrong. The room didn't stop time. It consumed it. People entering 414 became trapped between moments. The hotel began feeding on them. Maria discovered the truth. She stole the master key and attempted to destroy the room. Instead, she trapped herself inside. The hotel's management concealed everything. Room 414 was removed from every floor plan. The doorway was sealed, the number erased. But the room didn't disappear. It waited. Every October 6th, the anniversary of its opening, it returned. And it took another guest. But why me? Elena asked. Wellington looked delighted. Because you brought back the key. Wellington lunged. Elena ran. Arthur tackled him. Go! Elena smashed the mirror with a lamp. Glass exploded. But instead of a wall behind it, there was another corridor. Impossible. Endless. Elena stepped through. Doors stretched farther than she could see. Each had a number. Some familiar, some impossible. 414, 714, 1014, 1914. People wandered silently. Elena found Maria. Abuela! Maria turned. For the first time in 94 years, grandmother and granddaughter stood face to face. Maria touched Elena's cheek. You look like your mother. Elena began crying. You didn't leave her. Never. How do we get out? Maria looked at the brass key. You finish what I couldn't. They ran. Behind them came Wellington's voice. Elena! The corridor shook. Doors flew open. Hands reached through. Some human, others weren't. Maria led Elena toward a black door at the end of the corridor. No number, only a keyhole. "The heart of the hotel," Maria said. "What happens if I open it?" "We find out." "That's your plan?" Maria almost smiled. It was a better plan in 1931. Elena inserted the key. The entire hotel screamed. Not people, the building. Walls groaned, floorboards buckled, pipes shrieked. Elena turned the key. The black door opened. Behind it was a small room. Thousands of objects covered the floor. Wallets, watches, wedding rings, shoes, passports, suitcases, everything belonging to everyone the hotel had taken. At the center stood a massive guest ledger, its pages turned by themselves. Names, thousands of them. Elena found Arthur Bell, Louise Carter, the Reeves, Melissa Crane, Maria Vasquez. Then she found her own name. Elena Vasquez. Beside it, check-in, October 6th. Under checkout, blank. "Close the book!" Maria screamed. Wellington entered the corridor. His human appearance was gone. Something enormous moved beneath his skin. His arms stretched unnaturally. His mouth split wider. "The guests belong to me." Elena slammed the ledger shut. Nothing happened. Wellington laughed. "Did you really think it would be that easy?" Maria looked at the key, then at the book. The lock. There was a tiny keyhole on the ledger's spine. Elena inserted the brass key. Wellington screamed, "No!" Elena turned it. The ledger burst open. Every page became blank, and the Grand Wellington began to collapse. Doors exploded throughout the endless corridor. People began disappearing, not dying, recalling. Elena saw flashes: a hospital, a street, a bedroom, a train station. Every missing person was being returned to the exact moment from which the hotel had taken them. Arthur smiled as he vanished. Louise disappeared. Peter, Melissa, hundreds. Then Maria began fading. Elena grabbed her. "No! It's okay. Come with me." "I can't." "Why?" Maria smiled sadly. "I've been here too long." Elena cried. "Mom spent her whole life thinking you abandoned her." Maria touched Elena's face. "Tell her I tried to come home." Then Maria whispered, "And tell her I heard every birthday wish." Elena broke down. Maria disappeared. The corridor collapsed. Elena ran. Elena woke on the fourth-floor carpet. Malcolm and Denise stood over her. "Elena?" She opened her eyes. "What happened?" She looked toward the wall. No room 414, just the utility shaft. "How long was I gone?" Denise frowned. "Gone? You disappeared around midnight." Elena sat up. "What time is it?" 12:07. 7 minutes. It had felt like hours. Elena reached beneath her uniform. The brass key was gone. The next morning, police arrived, then federal agents, then reporters. Across the country, missing people had suddenly reappeared. A woman missing since 2007 walked into her parents' home without having aged a day. A businessman missing since 1993 appeared inside an office building that had replaced the restaurant from which he'd vanished. Most astonishing was Arthur Bell. A man reported missing in 1931 appeared outside the Grand Wellington wearing a gray suit and carrying a suitcase. He hadn't aged a single day. Doctors couldn't explain it. Scientists couldn't explain it. Nobody could. But Elena could. She never told them. 1 year later, the Grand Wellington closed. Too many questions, too many lawsuits, too much publicity. Developers eventually purchased the property. Their plan was to demolish the hotel and replace it with luxury apartments. Elena attended the demolition. She watched excavators tear through walls that had stood nearly a century. The fourth floor collapsed, then the third, then the second. Finally, the Grand Wellington was gone. Elena felt relieved. Until one of the construction workers approached her. "Excuse me." "Yes." "You used to work here?" 17 years. "We found something." He led Elena into the excavation site. Beneath the hotel's foundation, workers had discovered a staircase. Stone steps descended underground. Elena's stomach tightened. Was there a basement beneath this section? No. The worker shined his flashlight downward. "We checked the plans." Elena stared. "There's nothing there?" "Exactly." They descended. At the bottom was a corridor, old wallpaper, brass light fixtures, hotel carpeting. Impossible. The Grand Wellington had been demolished above them, yet the hallway looked untouched. Doors lined both sides. Elena stopped walking. "Get everyone out." The worker laughed nervously. "What?" "Now." Then they heard it. Music, old jazz, coming from farther down the corridor. Elena slowly raised the flashlight. At the end of the hallway stood a door. Dark wood, brass handle, but the number wasn't 414. It was 415. Elena stared. "No." The worker frowned. "What's wrong?" "That's not the room." "What room?" Before Elena could answer, another door appeared beside it. 416. Then another. 417. The corridor stretched farther. Doors materialized one after another. The worker whispered, "What the hell is happening?" Elena finally understood. They hadn't destroyed room 414. They had unlocked it. And without the ledger controlling it, there was nothing keeping the room confined to a single door anymore. A telephone began ringing somewhere in the corridor. Elena backed toward the stairs. "Don't answer that." The worker stared at her. "What?" The ringing stopped. Then a telephone sitting on a small table beside them rang. It hadn't been there seconds earlier. The worker reached toward it. Elena grabbed his wrist. "Don't!" The phone rang again. And again. Finally, the answering machine clicked on by itself. Static, then a woman's voice. Elena's blood turned cold. Maria. "Elena." Elena stepped toward the phone. "Abuela?" Maria sounded terrified. "You opened the wrong door." Elena's face drained of color. "What?" "I wasn't trying to destroy the hotel." Static swallowed her words. Then Maria screamed, "I was trying to keep something locked inside." Every door in the corridor opened simultaneously. Darkness waited behind them. Then footsteps began. Hundreds, coming toward Elena. The construction worker ran. Elena followed. They reached the stairs. Behind them, something laughed. Not Wellington. Something deeper. Older. Something that had been waiting beneath the Grand Wellington long before Augustus Wellington built his hotel above it. Elena reached daylight. Workers scattered as the ground began trembling. She turned. The underground staircase was gone. Only dirt remained. For several minutes, nobody spoke. Then Elena heard a sound inside her coat pocket. Ding! She slowly reached inside. A brass hotel key rested in her palm. Stamped onto it were two numbers. 414. Elena nearly dropped it. Then the metal shifted beneath her fingers. The numbers changed. 415. Then 416. 417. 418. Faster now. Elena understood. Room 414 wasn't a room anymore. It was spreading. And somewhere across the city that night, In an apartment building, hospital, office tower, or hotel, someone would walk down a familiar hallway. They would notice a door they'd never seen before. They would wonder what was behind it. And because human beings have always been more curious than afraid, eventually, someone would open it. If you liked this story, hit the like button and please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.